Hey everyone, what's up? Sorry for the little bit of delay in saying hello and all that. I'm actually doing this outside for a change, as you can see by my lovely change of scenery. I'm at the creek by a trail near my house. There's a lot of deer usually along this creek. I just happen to like certain parts of the creek. It's also very sunny outside, so I might have to put my hat back on. As you can see, I'm like super white. So I'm sitting in like the shade of a tree. I think I'm gonna put my hat back on because, yeah. Me and the sun just don't get along very well. So, hence why I'm wearing a hoodie and it's hot as hell outside. But, I try to avoid the sun. It likes to torment me a lot. So, anyway. No, if I spend like more than 10 minutes in direct sunlight, like my skin is in the sun for more than 10 minutes, I start to turn red, as you can see by my hand. It's got like that pinky color starting to get to it because my hands are always out. But if like more of me is exposed than that, I get dizzy, I have like these blackouts, my blood sugar will drop really low and it gets kind of bad. So anyway, I decided to do a video out here today because it's nice and it's calming and it's peaceful and it's relaxing, and I actually like being out here despite having to wear so much crap, because I wanted to do a video about narcissists today. Now, I had a video I posted last night that basically called out, was it last night or was it the other night? I think it was last night. I basically called out my ex about, for him, like, trying to, like, make me look bad and shit. And it's like, dude, you can't do that because everything that, you know, is an issue for me or is an issue in general, I already make known. So, with that being said, and looking at some of my past relationships the way that I have, and some of the past relationships that I've been through, and some of the red flags that I've just ignored because I had this like kind of old school notion you work through all your problems. But there's a problem with that when you're the only one willing to work on problems and the other one's always trying to change you. You're the one who always has the issue. And it's like, no, that can't be. Like, so I decided I was going to post a video about narcissists because that's a narcissistic behavior, and give you guys some warning flags about narcissism and not about narcissism, narcissists. Because if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, odds are it's probably not going to last. I'm not saying that narcissists don't deserve love, don't whatever. They do, but it's going to be damaging to you if they don't get help. So, So I was looking online last night to look for like warning signs of narcissists, and I know you guys can see the reflection in my glasses. I don't know how well you see the reflection in my glasses, but you can see I'm on my laptop. I'm using my phone as a Wi-Fi tether. So I'm going to go through some of the warning flags that I found. One of the warning flags on one side I see that says, the biggest number one without fail of a narcissist is how they sweep you off your feet at the beginning of the relationship. They fall in love quickly. They have never loved anyone like they love you, and you're perfect in their eyes. My ex-husband and my ex-boyfriend, both the two people who are the biggest narcissist. Well, there's three because I dated another guy too. But one of the other guys I had dated. So, my two exes that I have children with, this was their big thing, okay? And I didn't really see this as a red flag at the time. I didn't think anything of it. And I didn't, and it says they have so many of the same interests, everything you love, wine and dine. They can't get enough of you. And more than likely, it is the most romantic relationship you ever had. In the beginning, it really was. It was like one of the best relationships that I've ever had with both of them. We'd go out sometimes. We could talk about anything for hours. And I listen a lot more than I talk when I'm in a relationship because that's just how I do. But when I want to talk about something, I want to talk about something. One of the red flags that came up later on in the relationship was the more I would listen and I'd try to respond back, the more it was, the conversations were heavily dominated by them. The conversations were very them-centered and them-oriented and it was very self-centered around them. They were like the center of the conversation. I'd go through my, like, perfect point and example. I'd go through my depression stages, and my ex would be like, well, I'm depressed too. I'd go through my depression stages, and I don't say I'm depressed. You know, I keep it to myself for the most part. My ex would go, well, I'm depressed too, and I've been depressed, and you don't know what depression's like. You know, you don't have it the way I have it. And it's like, nobody has depression the same way someone else does. You can't sit there and say a person's not depressed because they don't have the same symptoms as you. That's not true. Okay, another one, it says, seems too good to be true. A narcissist is a con artist, and when they find themselves their target, they morph into them good selves and become the epitome of the perfect lover or partner. Absolutely true. Once again, absolutely true. My ex, when he would cheat on me, the girls would be like, why is he acting like this? Why is this? Why is that? He would put on this facade for them that he is the best person in the planet, best person in the world, all lovey-dovey, woo-woo-woo. And then, like, later on, they'd be like, nah, bro, this ain't right. Something ain't right. And then he'd be like, oh no, you're just hallucinating. It's all in your head. But that was his character seeping out. Little by little, that was their character seeping out. Same thing with my ex-husband. That was his character seeping out little by little. He wants to know everything about you. Is very interested in learning about your childhood hopes and dreams, your past relationships. He will reveal a few of his indiscretions and weaknesses so you'll feel safe being open and honest with him. He wants to get to know you all right, but not for the reasons you think. He is arming his arsenal with ammo for later on down the road to use against you. By sharing some of his faults, he makes you think he is honest. Why would he lie about something insignificant when he was so honest about that? And I'll do that later. And that's true too. My ex would have me open up about a whole bunch of shit, and I was, but I'm open to everybody and anybody in the first place, which is kind of funny why now he thinks he's going to use incidences from my past that I used to do and things that I used to have a problem with against me, when I tell everybody, I have an issue with this. This is my problem. This is what I used to do. This is how I used to be. My boyfriend now that I have, he knows I used to do drugs. He knows I used to gangbang. He knows I used to, he knows I've done horrible shit. Okay, he knows my past because I'm open about it. I'm honest. I'm honest about it with a complete stranger because you cannot get to know me if you don't know me. And for people to sit, when I'll say hi to someone, they go, oh, I know her. And I'm like, no, you don't know me because you don't know anything about my past. You know who I am now, but you don't know me, okay? Because an incident from my past might cause me to react a certain way now. And yes, I might be trying to work on it and change it, but for you to sit and say you know me when you don't know something that might affect me in the present from my past, then that could cause a problem. So my ex would tell me some shit, just like little shit like that. And I'd ask his aunt and his grandma about it, and they're like, I don't know anything about that. Or, they'd be like, no. So I later on found out he was lying about shit. But, my ex-husband did the same thing too. He would try to be open and honest about, like, his ex-relationships and shit like that. And I'd just be like, you already know shit about me, bro. I've already told you everything. What do you want to know? Because that's just how I am. Like, I have no issues of telling anybody anything about myself, okay? Because, hey, it's shit that I've done. It's shit that I've been through. So, I mean, you can't get over your past or get over and fix yourself if you're not willing to admit things that you have done. First off, okay, there's people who are like, oh, well, don't tell your children you've ever done drugs. Don't tell your children this. Don't tell your children that. And then when the kid is like 15, 16 years old and experimenting with drugs, you're kicking yourself in the ass because now your child thinks you're a liar because they don't think you've ever done drugs because you've told them you've never done drugs, or you've avoided the conversation about you doing drugs. So they're like, well, how the fuck would you know? You've never done drugs in your life. You're this and you're that. And now you're kicking yourself in the ass because it's like, I'm trying to tell you I have, and your kid's like, so either you have or you haven't, then you lied to me, which means I can't trust you even more. So I like to be open and honest. Okay. Appears to make friends easily, but don't have any longtime friends. Another very, very big red flag. My exes don't have any real friends, and the friends that they do have come and go quick as shit. Quick as shit, quick as shit. In and out, in and out, in and out. Don't have any longtime friends. I think they each have like maybe 1 or 2 people that they've been friends with for like a few years. But after that, it's like they just drop them. So, I mean, shows you off to everyone he knows, taking you to mutual friends of his exes. If possible, he will use you as a pawn to hurt his ex. He quickly takes you to meet the family. We had been dating a few months, and he took me to his family's Christmas party, and I was not too comfortable with that at all. I was like, I didn't plan on meeting the entire family. Your mom, maybe. I mean, your aunt and grandma I already kind of know. Okay. One thing he never did, though, is we never really went out. My ex-husband, we would go out a lot, but my son's dad, we never really went out at all. If we did go out, it was usually like, oh, let's go to the hotel room so we could do whatever we want, instead of having to be quiet or be careful, because my grandma, or, where you live, and it was always something. But he had no issues going out by himself, so that was another thing that kind of really pissed me off. Like, dude, you go to concerts once a week. I want to go to dinner once a month, and we can't even do that because you don't want to. Very forceful sexually and wants sex within the first 2 dates. Barely taking no for an answer. Kinda yes on that one. My ex-husband was very forcefully sexually, like the first time him and I dated, like the first day, the next day I went over to his house to go to work, because we would carpool to work after that. He tried to have sex with me, and I was like, nah, what the fuck? It was very, very awkward situation. Even now, he's still very forceful about that, and it's like, dude, we're divorced. My son's dad, he stalked me for a while when we broke up. I'm not gonna lie. And I've got evidences to show it. Video evidences from work, from when he showed up at my house, and he showed up at my job. A voice recording from when he showed up at my house. After we had been broken up, and I said, I'm done with the shit. See, that's the thing, though, I can't say anything about that really, because when I was in my relationships, if I'm in a relationship with you and you want sex, we're gonna have sex. But it's only very often I'm just like, nah, I really don't want to have sex tonight, bro, because I'm just too tired. So if that happens, it's usually because I really am dead exhausted. But if you want sex, we're gonna have sex. That's just how I am, though. So I can't really say much about that one. And another one is they are either between jobs or started a new job and possibly new to town. They tend to move around a lot, and that way they don't have to worry about their past biting them in the ass. He did move around a lot. He told me about all the places he's lived and how much he's moved around and all this. When I met him, he was going to school. My son's dad, when I met him, he was going to school. He was going to school and he was working. When he moved in with me, he quit his job and he quit going to school and made up a bunch of excuses. Having him work, though, he worked maybe 2-3 jobs the entire 5 years that I knew him. And it would be okay to say that if he worked them long term, but he basically quit after a month or 2. So, I mean, I go through jobs, I probably change jobs more than people change their underwear, but that's because I refuse to stay at a job that I'm not happy with. But I have friends from each and every single job that I've had. They're either on my Facebook or, I still talk to them in person. I've got friends from high school still. I have a large circle of people I consider friends and acquaintances who've known me or know me for years. So it's kind of funny, like, reading some of these things. They have nothing except excuses why they have nothing. It's always someone else's fault. And that was what I had mentioned earlier in the video, you guys. They always blame someone else. It's always somebody else's fault. You're never good enough, and you're never going to be good enough for a narcissist. If they're having a bad day at work and you cook the turkey wrong, or you, even if you cook the turkey perfectly, okay, if you cook that turkey perfectly, and turkey is their favorite dish, but they're like, I don't like this. What's wrong with this? They're gonna say, oh, well, you cooked it wrong, when it's really just something with them. My ex-husband had a bad habit of, okay, perfect example. His favorite dish is lengua. If you don't know what lengua is, it's cow tongue. You steam it and dice it with some herbs and some other shit. So it's a Mexican dish, guys. I'm pretty sure they eat cow's tongue all over the world. I'm pretty sure they do a lot of shit. But he would, his mom cooked lengua one day, and I told her, I said, hold on, because your son says I can't cook anything right. So when he came home, I served him dinner, and I said, how you like it? And he goes, it's all right. Why? And I said, because I cooked it. And he goes, my mom can cook it better. And I said, now I know you're a punk-ass bitch, because your mom's the one who made that. And she came in, she goes, I didn't make that. So now I know you're just, whatever. Their exes are all paranoid psycho bitches who falsely accused them of cheating, called him cheap, and didn't appreciate all that he did for them, even when they were physically abusive to them. If he had an ex who is calling and distraught over their breakup and he tells you she has fatal attraction, he is trying to get rid of her, and you witness him not answering his phone, not returning texts, and he says he is afraid of what she will do, that she is spreading lies about him and stalking him, and he is afraid she will tell you lies about him, do not assume she is a psycho and sorry she lost him. My ex, if my son's dad, if you go through his YouTube channel or go through his video feeds from Facebook, every time a female calls him out on his bullshit, he calls her a psycho. He says she stalks him. He says she does this and she's doing that and she's doing that. He does have a habit of following them psychos, though, because one of the chicks he dated did end up stalking me and causing me a lot of problems that I was not even going to go there. But a few of them, two of them, for example, I'm not going to use their names, have contacted me and were like, hey, he's doing this and he's saying this and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, really now? So I call him out on his bullshit, and then this all happened. He breaks down. And not breaks down to me like, oh, it's not true, it's not true. He does say it's not true, it's not true, it's not true. He breaks down and then calls them up and calls them a psycho and says that they're this and they're that all online. So they do that. That I do have to agree with. In his past relationships at work, even with his family, he is always doing all the work. The only one putting in effort. They will always brag about themselves. Always brag about themselves. When I lived in Oklahoma with my son's dad, our rent was, I think, $600 or $800 a month. And I was on TANF because I was going to school. They were paying for my schooling to get my business degree, business management degree. And he was working about 16 hours a week at Burger King. I was making maybe $400, just about $400 a month. Okay, our rent was $800, and he was working 16 hours a week, so he was probably bringing home about maybe $200 every other week. Our rent was $600 a month, and our electric bill one month was at $1,200. It was actually pretty high. Our electric bill was usually between $800 to $1,100 a month. All you'll hear him talk about is how he took care of all the bills. He did this, he did that. Making 16 hours a week at Burger King. Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. Because my money from TANF, okay, I might not have had money and I might not have had cash. My money from TANF went to the bills. Didn't get to buy hardly a single dime. Somehow he managed to save up money, though. He'll even tell you, I saved up money and we bought 2 cars. How are you paying bills and you can still save money when our electric bill is almost $1,100 a month and our rent's $600, which means I'm helping you with the bills, motherfucker. So, which I don't mind. But, so the program with TANF has things that'll help you pay your bills. Awesome. So I used the program with TANF's programs to help me with the bills. But that was my work and my efforts. Not so much him. But you won't hear him say anything about that. You really won't. He'll say everything that he's done. My son's dead, same way. Not my son's dead. Bleh. My ex-husband is the same way. That is my son's dead, the one from the one with that Oklahoma thing. If you discuss past relationships and he asks you about fidelity, he will tearfully admit to having one indiscretion, and that was because his ex was so jealous and always falsely accusing him. My ex-husband never admitted to any infidelities, okay? Though there were multiple. And my son's dad would never admit to any infidelities either. So don't believe that, okay? He will tell you how much he hates conflict. This is true. Okay, he'll always say he hates conflict, I don't like fighting, I don't like arguing. But then turn around and say how much he needs to fight and argue. So, it's like, it's very contradicting. They appear naive and helpless. That's the manipulative part of them. They are very manipulative. Narcissists can be extremely, extremely manipulative, you guys. They will make you feel like they can't do anything, oh, poor pitiful me, everyone's trying to do this to me, nobody loves me. Nobody loves me and I have no friends. But when you talk to them, oh, well, my friend this and my friend that and my friend this and my current friend this and this person and that person, and it's like, I just said you don't have any friends. Oh, well, they're not really friends, they're just... Oy vey. I don't believe in that one. Very early he will do things that secure his position in your life. Fixing your car, buying memory for your computer, blah, 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 blah. Very true. Very true. My ex-husband wanted to get married really quick, and I kind of agreed to that one. We got married after knowing each other for about a week. My son's dad got me kicked out of where I was living at and had me move in with his grandma. Oh, well, I'll fix this. I'm so sorry, I'll fix this. You can move in with me. Found out he lived with his grandma. Anyway, so we lived with his grandma, and we're sleeping on a couch. We were... for a while. A long, long, long while, actually, until I got fed up. They will often let a little tidbit of truth slip out, but you may miss it if you're not aware. Almost like he's giving you a warning. He is very attentive lover, but in past relationship, he hasn't worried about the woman and just basically climbed on top and worried about his own satisfaction. My ex-husband was like that. My son's dead, not so much. Let's see. Early in the relationship, he will ask you to do a favor for him. Run an errand, maybe pick up his paycheck for him, something that puts you in position of his partner or significant other that makes you feel special when he would ask you. My exes would have me do that a lot. Hey, can you do me a favor? I find myself saying that a lot. Like, hey, can you do me a favor real quick? But I'm like legit, like, I don't know. Insists on sleeping and snuggling up all night and points it out to you. How he has never been able to sleep wrapped up with someone like that before. Not so much sure about that one either, because there's a lot of people out there who just like to cuddle. He will borrow a small sum of money and pay it right back, proving usually they're in financial trouble of some kind. All he needs is a little help to get back on his feet. It's always someone else's fault he's broke. Once again, That's that whole blame thing. They're never the cause of their own problems. Test your reaction to situation. I.e., we met at the end of November, so we were entering a very social time of year. Our staff parties were on the same night, and we agreed to go to my dinner, and then to his for the dancing and partying. But we never made it to my party. In fact, the weather had turned really bad, a snowstorm, and he said he didn't want to drive. So I called and told work I wouldn't be able to make it. Shortly after I made the call, he wanted to drive to the store. But once we were on the road, he drove directly to his staff party, making it sound like he was surprised the roads weren't as bad as he thought, and we might as well drop by his staff party, seeing as we were out anyway. That is the manipulated. What they went through was another manipulative thing. My ex used to do that to me a lot. Oh, come by, we'll order food, we'll go out to eat, we'll make some beats, we'll do this, and this. Come by, and all he did is fucking drink. I even had to pay for the food. 90% of the time, I had to pay for the food. Okay? Da-da-da. His description of relationship with family or friends don't fit what you experience. True as well. Very true as well. He talks, they tell you, okay, my ex-husband would say, I'm not that close to my mom, but everyone agrees that he needs to be married to his mom. And my son's dad is very distant, shall we say. I'm trying to find the word for it. He talks shit about his mom, but then he's like always on the phone with her, always calling her, always talking to her. And their relationship is like they're friends. So, I mean, now I'm just saying what these things are saying, you guys, about narcissists. And I'm giving you examples from my own experience on whether or not I think some of these are true. So, if you catch him in lies, he says you misunderstood. That's very true. My exes would always say, I never lied to you, I never lied to you. And then when you call them out on the lie, they're like, well, I wasn't really lying. I kind of just... No, bro, you were lying. I don't care how you look at it, you were lying. Okay? Very early in the relationship, he calls you by a pet name. Yes. That has happened, but I can't go and say that goes with a narcissist because... I call everyone by a pet name too. I grew up with a family from the South that was very Southern styled. We call everybody babe, hun, sugar. Hey babe, can I get you something to eat? I love living in the South. I've lived in the South for so long that I call people, babe or baby or hey hun, hey sweetie. And I talk to people like that. So I can't really necessarily say that is true, shall we say? Because, it depends on, that depends on where you were brought up and how you were raised too. So, you find yourself thinking he has so much potential, all he needs is a good woman to believe in him. On that one. We all have to have our learning experiences. There are a lot of good guys out there, okay, who do have so much potential. They just aren't really given enough opportunities. But you can experience that and see that and whether or not they're actually putting in the work, okay? If you see a guy who has potential, so you're giving him, the trust and the belief and, you're supporting him 100% or to the best of your abilities and it's not going anywhere, run. In that case, run. Because they're just using you. But if you see a good man who has potential and you're supporting him in the best of your abilities and you see him growing, you see him making changes, and you see, you see improvements and you see, well, not that you're trying to improve somebody, but you see something for the better, then stay, because they're showing you that they actually do have potential. So I can't, that's why I went, That's a very touchy subject. He says he will love you. He says he loves you early in the relationship. He has never met a woman like you. You are different from every woman he knows. You are special. Blah 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 blah. That's the whole manipulative thing again. I think this article though was done by a female who was severely damaged by a really bad narcissist. So like a lot of these things on here, she's got some good points, and she's got some points where I'm just like, I don't think that's, true. But that was on a psychology journal too, guys. That thing came from a psychology journal. So those are the 30 signs on that article that says you are dating a narcissist. As it says. But a true narcissist is someone with narcissistic personality disorder, a mental health condition characterized by an inflated sense of importance. Okay, which means they believe they are the most important thing on the planet. A need for excessive attention and admiration. My ex would do this and do this horribly. There's some lag in my video. Okay. A lack of empathy for others. Often having troubled relationships. Okay. Those are the 4 major signs though of narcissistic personality disorder. And I am apologizing in advance for this video because I can see at the end now how it's slagging and lagging. On that note, let me see. Okay, on that note, 9 official criteria for NPD and narcissistic personality disorder. And remember this, guys. A grandiose sense of self-importance, preoccupation with fantasy or unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love, belief they are special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other special or high status people, need for excessive admiration, sense of entitlement, interpersonality exploitative behavior, lack of empathy, envy of others or belief that others are envious of them, demonstration of arrogance and haughty behaviors or attitudes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 official criteria for NPD, guys. Alright. My camera's having an issue with me, so I'm not going to keep forcing it anymore. Let's see if that works. Of course not. Alright. Bye, guys. Oh, that did work. A little bit. Alright. Bye, guys.